Let's talk about my problem with parental control apps. I've talked about this before, but it's always necessary to go into all the things you have problems with. But no, seriously, if this is your first time catching me live, I'm Cyber Farida. I have a background in cybersecurity, threat intelligence, online gaming, and I help you protect your kids online. I have two main problems with parental control apps. Number one, the privacy and security of the apps that you're downloading. So just because millions of parents have downloaded an app and millions of parents love it and it has amazing reviews, and then you look it up online and all of the big news stories or blogs are recommending it, even parent blogs, and you're like, yep, this is a great app, let me download this for my kid. It doesn't mean that it's a safe app. It doesn't mean that it's an app that takes your child's privacy and safety seriously. So what do I mean? There are certain apps out there that claim to be protecting your kids online, but they don't have the necessary safety, security, and privacy features within the app to prevent, say, like a predator or a hacker that may get into the app and see your child's messages, see your child's location, change your child's location, contact your child, all of that. When you're installing a parental control app, when you're installing a parental monitoring app, the main purpose of it is so that you're protecting your kids online, because you want to make sure you're protecting your kids from a predator or a hacker online. The whole point is to protect them, to protect the people that may be contacting them. You most likely trust your child. You're just adding it because you want some peace of mind, especially because the internet is a whole can of worms. And you're giving them the phone for the first time, especially a phone. You still have parental controls with iPad and a tablet or computer, but especially a phone. And so you're having that mindset and you're installing this app because of that mindset, and then it turns around and then is used against you. That's not something that you or your child should ever experience. So that's one of the number one problems I have with parental control apps, is that not all of them are safe. And it's very difficult to tell which ones are safe. Now, the ones that I recommend are companies that you probably heard of before. So Apple Family Sharing. If you have Apple devices, you use Apple Family Sharing. Google, you have Google Family Link. You have your YouTube parental controls all connected. Use Google. You've heard of Norton before. You might have an antivirus system that you use. Use Norton Family. They have like a parental control suite inside of their Norton 365 Norton suite thing, okay? If you use Microsoft or Windows 10, Windows 11, then Microsoft has Microsoft Family Safety. There's a base level that's free, and then there's another level that you can pay for. And so those applications are the ones that I recommend, especially because they're from companies that are vetted. We all know them. We all understand them. Yes, obviously there's going to be privacy issues when you're using things like Google or Microsoft or whatever, but it's way better than using a third-party app that you know nothing about. Now, if you do use a third-party app, it's really important to know that they take security and safety very, very seriously. So it's not completely wrong to use a third-party app. I know that I've talked to people in the field as well to see their point in the cybersecurity field. If you watched my video on the FBI agent helps you protect your kids online, it was something like FBI agent tips for parents. I can't remember the name of the video. It's on my channel. And I asked FBI agent, who has been Secret Service agent for like 20 years. He has, I think, 3 kids. And I asked him, like, would you ever use a third-party app for your kids? And he said, I would never use it. Never. I was like, never, even if the company was like, never. And I said, okay, but would you use Google even if there's like privacy issues, or Microsoft or whatever? And he said, yeah, absolutely. The only reason is because you already use the app, which I absolutely agree with him on that. I don't know if I agree completely in never, ever, ever using third party, but I am quite anti third party unless, right? So I'm not like use third party, it's fine. Don't use third party unless. So Norton is an example of a third party app. And the reason why Norton is on the list is because they are good with security and they're good with privacy in general. It's way better than using a random company that you have never heard of. And so that's why I say yes to Norton. And any other app that is known to have better security, known to have better privacy, then that's a good to go. That is a green light on that app. And that's kind of like how you can gauge and tell which ones are safe. Now, there are ones that have been researched by security researchers, independent researchers, to say, hey, this app is not good. And that is an app that you don't want. want. So if you go to my profile, there's a link in bio, and then there's a list, there's a free resource library. Inside of that free resource library is a list of 40 plus apps that are not safe for your kids. Some of them have been hacked already multiple times, like MSpy, MSPY. MSpy is, I'm completely against MSpy. I mean, honestly, any app that has the word spy in it, I'm over it, I'm out, I don't like it, it's terrible, I'm out. Number one is like your morals and values, why would you say spy? Second is that it's more fear mongering for parents and less of a solution. And third, if you're going to have that in the front lines of your morals and values and saying that you're spying on kids, then I'm not going to trust the company. And it turns out they're not trustworthy. The Truth Spy is not trustworthy. A lot of parents are using that app as well. And there are other apps that have like the word spy in it that I'm like, absolutely not. And so that's a question personally for me about their morals and values. And spy, again, I don't know if I mentioned it, been hacked like 3 different times, didn't alert parents to what was going on. And that is why for me, it's a no. I don't like it. It's a no. But also there is research to back up my feelings about it. So I'm not going to just tell you my feelings and then not give you some research on it. If it's just my feelings, I'll just say, hey, I don't feel comfortable with this, but I have nothing to back this up. This is just my feeling, my intuition, my gut, maybe something from the past makes me feel like I don't like this company. But it's more, number one, my gut feeling, but also they've also had problems before. And so the safer ones also is any app that is your child is using and they have parental controls within it. So if your child is on Instagram, if your child is on TikTok, if your child's on Roblox, Fortnite, whatever it is, and there are parental controls enabled or inside of the game, inside of the app, feel free to use those. Those are good. Those are good to go. Your child is already on the platform. When I say third-party apps, I mean apps that are outside of the apps your child is using and definitely outside of any of the companies you've ever heard of, like the companies that your child is on, like Google and Meta and Microsoft and things like that. That's what I mean by third-party apps, okay? So there's a list of many, many different apps that you shouldn't use. That is my number one problem with them, is the security and safety. Now, I do want to address this. Any app, any company can be hacked. I can be hacked, you can be hacked, any company can be hacked, no matter how big the company is. The government has been hacked, it will be hacked again. It's probably being hacked right now. I mean, obviously, hacks are happening every second, every minute. It happens all the time. It's not about it being hacked, it's about, do they have the team, do they have the understanding, do they have the infrastructure, do they have the care to actually protect your child's information and protect your child's account from being used by a predator. You have a parent account, you can see what your child is doing, but you do not want a predator to have access to that information. And that is what we're talking about. If something were to happen, does the company have the resources, the understanding, the know-how, and the care to make sure that that is not happening again, and that they fix it, that they patch it, the vulnerability, so that it does not happen again? That is all we want. Not for people to be perfect. There's no such thing as perfect. We're all trying our best. And a lot of these companies are really small companies that don't have the budget, and it's very unfortunate, and our heart goes out to them, and hopefully they're able to have the budget because they mean so well. But I still am like, you still have to have really good security and safety. And that's why when people ask me like, hey Farida, or hey Cyber Farida, would you ever do a security company, like an app, like a parental control, parental monitoring app? And the answer is no, absolutely not. That's not something I'm interested in. That's not, I'm happy to promote really good parental control apps and parental monitoring apps, but that's not something that I'm very much interested in, because to me, that is a lot of responsibility. And I'd be starting small, I'd be bootstrapping, and I would not most likely have the funding to make sure this app is as secure and safe as possible. And so that's why I would never do it. And if, you would need a base, yeah, it's a lot. So the second reason why I have a problem with parental controls and parental monitoring apps, besides the security, besides the safety, besides predators and hackers being able to get into the app, the second reason why I have a problem with it, and I still have my pen in my hand, I don't even... Anyways, the second reason why I have a problem with it is because it's usually installed, well, sometimes it is installed without the child knowing, without your child knowing, or it's installed in a manner that creates too much friction in your relationship with your child. the base level foundation of protecting your child online is a relationship where it's open, where they feel safe to talk to you about anything and everything without fear of judgment, without fear of you getting upset, without fear of punishment. And if your child feels, and look, they can feel anything, they're not going to like that you may be checking their messages, they're not going to like that there are certain guidelines and rules around the internet, they're not going to like screen time. It's not about what your child likes or does not like, it's about what harms the foundation of your relationship. You don't want your child to become more sneaky. And many times when there are parental controls involved or parental monitoring involved, it feels like, oh, I just put this on here, I talk to my kid and I'm good. But your child becomes more sneaky. They go around the parental control apps, the parental monitoring apps, the whatever it is that you have on the device, they can get around it. If they feel like, hey, my parent is reading my diary, so to speak, they're looking at my messages, they're seeing what I'm doing, then it creates a distrust and it creates a, you don't trust me, and if you find something, you're going to punish me, you don't get me, you don't understand me. And they start moving away from you and they start becoming way more sneaky. And when they become sneaky, there are things that they're going to do that you're absolutely, obviously not going to know and not going to see. And they start making friends with people online, which is it's okay so long as you're there in the relationship. You can guide them to safe relationships. You can see what's going on. You can see what's happening. You can guide them through that process. But when you're not there and they're becoming sneaky and they do not trust you, and because you have parental monitoring, they start doing things that you can never see. And they start creating their own safe spaces online beyond you. And they start connecting with predators and strangers, and they feel more comfortable with them, rightly so, unfortunately. It's not right in terms of the grand scheme of things, but it's right because they feel like, oh, this is a person that gets me. This is a person that understands me. My parent doesn't understand me. My parent doesn't get me. They are always monitoring me. They're always seeing what I'm doing. They never listen to me. You don't want your child to have that mindset. It's fine if they're upset with you. It's fine if they don't like certain things, but they should feel as much as possible that I can talk to my parent and they're not going to punish me. They're not going to judge me. The reason why your child feels more comfortable with a stranger on the internet than talking to you is because they feel more safe with that stranger on the internet. They feel like that person understands them, that person gets them, that person's not going to judge them, that they have formed a connection with them because that person is leaving space for them to just be themselves. And you don't want that to happen. It's fine if they have a friend that they like on Roblox and they like to talk to them, or they're on Fortnite or some online game, but that's only fine if you also have a safe relationship with them where they can tell you, yeah, so Johnny and I were like playing Roblox and this happened and this person said that. And then you ask them, oh my God, like what happened? And it's just cool, calm and collected. It's as if you're talking to, it's like you're their guide, their mentor, you're there with them and you're asking them questions. That is a safer interaction. So even if you have parental monitoring or parental controls, they know that you and them are together against the world and it's not you both against each other. That's why parental controls and parental monitoring, I'm like, yes, absolutely, you need to have it, especially when kids are younger. But as they get older, there's a time limit, there's a time period, and they need to understand that. And they need to know why the parental controls exist. They need to understand, you can give them an analogy, like I would never let you go on the playground by yourself. And the internet is a digital playground, and I'm just there as your guardian, as your parent, as someone to keep you safe. This doesn't mean that I'm overhearing every single conversation you're having on the playground. It doesn't mean that I'm going to be behind you every second on the playground. It just means that I am there in the general vicinity. And if something happens and I can see it, then we're going to have a conversation about it because I want to keep you safe. That is all that it means. So whatever analogy you have to give them, but give them the why, and then say, hey, like once you get your first job, once you get your provisional license, driver's license, if you're US, that's like 16 years old, you get a first internship, you start a business, you start making your own money, you start paying your own phone bill, then things will change. Then there won't be parental monitoring. But now because you're 10 years old or 12 years old, it's different. But when you hit 16, 17, you're getting ready to go to college, you're getting your first job, you're whatever, participating in different activities, it's slowly going to go away. So sometimes when we have these parental controls or parental monitoring, it's like a way for your child to move away from you. And what I want is that it's a way for your child to move closer to you. You never want the parental monitoring to shake the foundation of your child's relationship with you. And so that is why I'm like, you want to be very careful before you put a parental control. Now, let's just say you already put parental controls or parental monitoring, and it's creating a lot of friction in your relationship with your child, and you're trying to figure out, okay, how do I have have this conversation, you obviously can repair anything that's broken. Just because something's broken, just because something's shaky does not mean that, oh my God, it's over for you. Your child doesn't trust you. Your child is being sneaky. There's no way to work back. There's obviously a way to work back, no matter how old your child is. It doesn't mean that it's gonna like change overnight. All of a sudden, they're gonna trust you. All of a sudden, they're like, yay, this is great. But it does mean that at least you're working on it and you're showing them that you're here to stay and that you appreciate their insights. So long as you're having and maintaining these open dialogues and making them feel safe with you, the best that it is when it comes to protecting your child online. So you just cannot just download any parental control or any parental monitoring because you're like, okay, I need to know what's going on. I need to protect my child. Very commendable. Obviously, you should be doing that. But the two things you want to think about is, number one, how am I going to approach this with my child? How will I start the conversation? What analogies would I give? At what age would this stop? Or what circumstance? Sometimes it's not an age. There's a circumstance where you're like, now we're weaning off a little bit more. Or I don't have the capacity to look at every single message. So what do I need to do in that instance to protect my child online? The second, and you, by the way, you don't have to see every single thing that happens online to protect your child. You can't see everything and you don't have to protect your child. Second is this app that I'm downloading actually safe for my child? Does this have a good security safety track record? Again, we talked about the apps that are safer for your child. We have Norton Family, Microsoft Family Safety, Apple Family, and Google Family. Those are the 4 apps that are good. They're safe to go. You're good to go. There are other apps that I'm looking into that I'm talking to the company to see their security and privacy. Stay tuned for that. Again, go to my profile or type resource in the comments below and I'll send you the link, or go to my profile and get the free Internet Safety Resource Library. You'll get the free list of unsafe or best and worst apps, parental control apps. I hate saying best and worst parental control apps, but whatever. That was the name of the free list, whatever. The best and worst parental control apps. And if you find there's an app that you're using, like Life360, like mSpy, that had some security and safety issues, mSpy has been hacked 3 times, and you're like, oh my God, what do I do? Inside of the free list, it details you exactly what you can do if you find yourself in a situation where you're using an app that was not safe for your child, or it wasn't like you were using an app that wasn't safe. It was just the app turns out to not be as safe as it could be. So I don't want you blaming yourself and feeling, oh my God, it's me. It's not you. If you want like customized advice and to support your child and your child's needs for protecting them on their phone, and you want me to walk you through what you can do, and you want a personalized family safety plan, then type hidden in the comments below. If I don't see this video fast enough, just go to my link in bio, look up the hidden course. It is a course that teaches you the strategies that top cybersecurity and child safety experts use to protect their child online. And this time of this recording is a limited time, but the time of this recording, what we're doing is that you have customized advice for me. You have a customized VIP safety plan. You have a VIP call with me, usually $300. Right now, the course and the call is $197, which is insane. It's limited time. So if you're seeing this a little bit late, still check out my bio. The course will be available, but the customized family safety plan may not be, but still go check it out. If you have any questions for me based off of anything I just said, put it in the comments below, and make sure you're following this page, subscribing to this page. Everything that I talk about, all the videos are all about how to protect your child online while building a strong parent-child relationship, because that is truly the foundation of online safety. Have an amazing day. We'll talk soon, and bye.